So for alert barking out the window, we're going to use a process, name command marker. Whenever I'm giving a command that the dog has to listen to, I'm going to speak in a very clear manner. And this definitely helps when his mind is so noisy because he's barking out the window at some possible intruder. I have to have very clear instructions to him. So Jackson, enough, and try not to be forceful with that language. It's loud enough so he can hear it over him barking, but I'm not trying to make him stop through my tone. Jackson, enough! Because that just might add fuel to the flame. It might just make him bark more. Or he's like, yeah, we're both barking at this guy. So instead, loud, clear, but not forceful. And then after you give that command, after about a second, maybe 2 seconds, you're gonna mark with yes or no. So that's what I mean by name command marker. I'm not going, Jackson, quiet, or Jackson, enough, hey, enough, hey, stop it. I'm saying, Jackson, enough, yes if he stopped, no if he didn't. There's no extra words in there because then he's like, if I'm not clear and consistent every time about it, then he's not gonna figure this out in such a high octane stressful scenario in his head. So to cut through that static, I have a very clear sequence. It's name to get his attention, command to tell him what to do, and then marker to tell him if he did it right or wrong. Jackson, enough. After that, you're either gonna say yes if he stops for just a moment, or no if he doesn't stop. So with yes, we'll have a little treat station set up, a little barking station rather. We'll have a squirt bottle and we'll have treats. If he stops, you're gonna say yes and you're gonna grab a handful of treats and drop them on the ground. So it takes him about maybe 30 seconds to pick up the 10 treats that you dropped. That way, because his mind's not gonna go from alert mode to Jackson, quiet, and he's done. Over time it will, but for now, these are the training wheels that'll kind of help out. So if he's sniffing the ground for 30 seconds and that person's totally gone, I just gave ourselves a W because I helped him out a little bit. Jackson, quiet, yes, boom, and I toss a bunch of treats on the ground. If he goes back to barking at that same thing, just say no and correct. We're not gonna get into this game of Jackson, quiet, yes. Jackson, quiet, yes. Jackson, quiet, yes, because he just keeps returning to barking at the thing. So you're gonna aim for him not going back to whatever he's alerting at by dropping a bunch of treats. But if he does go back to it, you're gonna say no right away. You're not gonna recommand. Because unless it's a brand new thing that came by and he's alerting at something else. But if it's, yeah, you alerted me to the mailman. I'm here now, I'm taking command of the scenario. You don't need to tell me about that person anymore. And then with no, it's gonna be, if he doesn't stop barking, you're gonna say no, grab the squirt bottle and spray him, then recommand. So it's not, Jackson, enough? No, hey, enough. There's no extra words, it's no, and then you correct, and then you try again. All right, so I usually put this right where the dog's barking, so that this is for you guys. When all the alarm bells are going off, a lot of times the owners are conditioned to also do the same thing every time. Hey, stop it, enough. So before you go into that impulse, read that and go, okay, if that's my route, I'm gonna tell him to be quiet. If he does, I'm dropping treats. If he doesn't, I'm saying no and I'm spraying. And then I'm starting again. So eventually, if it takes you 3 sprays, you're eventually saying yes and dropping treats. Maybe in the future, months from now, when he's got this down, it's like, I'm not gonna reward you for screwing up after I corrected you type of thing. I'm not gonna reward you after that. But for now, we're trying to paint a very black and white picture. Quiet either means treats or squirt bottle. So just stop doing what you're doing and you'll get treats. Now there's 2 things that people do wrong with a squirt bottle. They'll either present it before they use it and go, hey, enough, like as a threat. And if we do that, the dog's gonna rely on that visual cue of you holding that squirt bottle at them more than understanding what words we're saying. And then that's also going to make us always have to get up and grab the squirt bottle and show it to them. I emphasize this because I have a lot of people on my second class. I'll be like, how's the barking going? Or how's this behavior going? Or jumping up on somebody or whatever the case is. And they're like, oh, it's great. All I have to do is show them the spray bottle. And it's like, I'm glad that it's mitigated for you from before, but you're always gonna have to grab the squirt bottle if you keep doing that. Say no, then reach for it, then use it. The second way people get this wrong is after they reach for it, their dog will stop, So then they stop. It's kind of like no means I've called the cops and there's nothing you can do about it now. Don't show it before you use it, and if you've said no, follow through with it. If you don't have a squirt bottle nearby, or so you don't want to get up necessarily because maybe you're preoccupied with the kid or whatever else, you can give a warning of like so it doesn't devalue the word no. So enough, enough. But if he continues, then I'd back it up with a no. Is that in the frame? Kind of. So it's name command, and then it's either yes or no backed up with treats or spray, and then we try again. So hopefully that can help. So next time he's barking, take a beat, take a moment, read that, and then follow through with that instead of the usual, hey, stop it type of thing. But does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Go for it.
Yeah. Enough. Yes. 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 So I could sparse out the treats, or I could just drop all of them at once, depending on, if you have the time to just hang out here with your dog. But let's try. Enough. But I'm assuming if there's somebody out there, he's gonna get a little bit more like, no, he's right there type of thing, versus kind of figuring it out. He's like, that was you, wasn't it? Jackson, enough. Good boy. Good job. Yes. No. Enough. If something new happens, he can alert at that thing again. So if he's barking at the mailman there and we tell him to be quiet, and then another person comes by and he barks at that person, I'm not just going to correct them right away. I'm going to ask him to be quiet to that new thing. But if he barked again at the same thing, like if they didn't do anything and he barked again at them after grabbing some treats, it's like he grabbed his paycheck and then went back to doing the bad thing, then I would correct it.